A woman named Diana from the United States has been feeding a homeless man for years. She used to bring him food when she worked as a waitress at a diner, and she continued to do so after her shift. But one day she noticed that he was missing. So she went to his usual spot only to find out he had passed away. Even though she was heartbroken by the news, she was also thankful that she had been able to spend some time with him before he died. And because she loved him so much, she decided to honor him at her wedding by inviting 12 Marines dressed in full uniform. And it wasn't long before they showed up at the ceremony looking like real-life superheroes. But who was this mysterious homeless man? Why did he deserve such an amazing send-off? And what did the Marines have to do with all of this? We'll tell you everything about this touching story right now. Welcome back to our channel, where we share with you the most amazing stories about ordinary people who have shown extraordinary kindness. Before we begin, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to never miss any new updates. In this video, we will talk about a heartwarming event that took place at a wedding ceremony in the US when 12 Marines arrived as guests of honor. Their presence was a surprise to everyone attending the wedding, but it soon became clear why they were there. It turned out that the bride had invited them to pay tribute to a homeless man who had become an important part of her life. The bride's name is Diana, and she is a resident of Oregon. One day while working as a waitress at a local diner, she met a homeless man who became a regular customer. Every morning he would come into the diner and order a cup of coffee, which Diana would bring to him without charge. Even after her shift ended, she would continue to take care of the homeless man, bringing him food and making sure he was warm enough. She had no idea how long he had been living on the streets or what his story was, but she knew that he needed help and she was more than happy to provide it. Diana developed a close relationship with the homeless man. She would talk to him about her life, and he would share his thoughts and experiences with her. She learned that his name was Gary, and that he had been in the Marine Corps for 10 years before being medically discharged. He had served in Iraq and Afghanistan, and had even received a Purple Heart for his service. After leaving the Marines, Gary had struggled to adjust to civilian life and had eventually become homeless. Diana was moved by Gary's story and by how proud he was of his service in the Marines. She wanted to do something special for him and decided to invite him to her wedding. She knew that Gary would not have anyone else to spend the holiday with and that he would feel lonely. She also knew that he would appreciate the opportunity to dress up and feel like a member of the community again. Diana was getting married to her fiancé. His name is David. He was fully supportive of Diana's plan to invite Gary to the wedding. In fact, he thought it was a wonderful idea and was happy to include the homeless man in their special day. On the day of the wedding, Diana and her bridesmaids arrived at the reception venue. They had decorated the space with photos of Diana and Gary from their time together. The bridesmaids were all wearing purple ribbons in their hair, which was Gary's favorite color. When Gary arrived at the wedding, he was greeted with hugs and congratulations from Diana and her bridesmaids. He looked very handsome in a suit that David had bought for him, and he was very grateful for the kind gesture. During the reception, Diana gave a speech in which she thanked Gary for being a part of her life and for teaching her the true meaning of love and compassion. She also thanked the Marines for their service and sacrifice and for the support they had shown to Gary. The guests were very moved by Diana's speech and by the presence of the Marines at the wedding. Many of them made donations to a local charity that helps homeless veterans. But what did the Marines have to do with all of this? Well, it turns out that Gary had been in touch with a group of Marines after Diana had given them permission to visit him. He told them about the kindness that she had shown him and about the upcoming wedding. The Marines were very touched by Gary's story and decided to make a surprise appearance at the reception. They arrived in full uniform and carrying a large basket filled with gifts for Diana and Gary. The bride was very surprised and honored by the Marines' presence. She had no idea that they had planned to attend the wedding, and their arrival was a wonderful surprise. But why did the Marines decide to honor Diana with their presence? It turns out that they were deeply moved by her story. When they heard about the homeless man and the lengths that she had gone to help him, they felt that she deserved recognition for her kindness and compassion. They also wanted to show their support for Gary and to let him know that he was not alone. The Marines presented Diana with a flag that had been flown over a military base in his honor. They also gave her a certificate of appreciation that read, "To Diana, for your outstanding support and generosity to our brother in arms, Marine veteran Gary." The Marines also posed for a group photo with Diana and Gary, and many of the guests at the wedding shed tears of joy at the sight. For Diana, the presence of the Marines at her wedding was a humbling experience. She did not expect to receive such recognition for her efforts to help Gary, and she was deeply touched by the support and admiration of the military community. But unfortunately, this is not the end of the story. After the Marines left, Diana and her husband went to check on Gary, but they were horrified to find that he had disappeared. They searched everywhere for him, but there was no sign of the homeless man. Just when they were about to give up hope, they found a note that Gary had left behind. He explained that he had not meant to run away, but that he had been overwhelmed by the attention and had panicked. He said that he was truly grateful for Diana's kindness and asked her to forgive him for any distress he had caused. Diana and David were relieved to know that Gary was safe, but they were also disappointed that he had run away without saying goodbye. They had hoped to continue helping him and to keep in touch with him, but they understood that Gary needed his space. In the end, Diana was left feeling proud of herself for having made a difference in Gary's life, no matter how small. She knew that she had shown compassion and kindness to someone in need, and that was all that mattered. But as the days went by, Diana and David couldn't stop thinking about Gary. They were worried about him and wanted to make sure he was okay. So they decided to go out and look for him. They searched everywhere, but there was still no sign of Gary. Diana was starting to lose hope when suddenly she saw something in the distance. It was a familiar figure walking towards her. Could it be? As the person got closer, she realized it was Gary. He was holding a sign that read, "Thank you, Diana," and he was smiling. Diana and David were overjoyed to see him and ran to hug him. Gary told them that he had missed them and that he wanted to say thank you for everything they had done for him. He said that he had never felt so loved and appreciated in his entire life. From that day on, Diana and Gary remained close friends. Diana continued to bring him food and supplies, and she even helped him find a job. Gary was very grateful for Diana's kindness and never forgot what she had done for him. And when Diana and David celebrated their first wedding anniversary, they invited Gary to join them. During the celebration, Diana gave a speech in which she thanked Gary for being a part of her life and for teaching her the true meaning of love and compassion. She also told the story of how the Marines had surprised them at their wedding, and she thanked them for their service and sacrifice. Gary was deeply moved by Diana's words and by the presence of the Marines at their anniversary party. He realized how lucky he was to have Diana in his life, and how grateful he should be for the support of the military community. As the night wore on, Diana and David danced with Gary and reminisced about their first year of marriage. They talked about the challenges they had faced and the joys they had experienced, and they shared their hopes and dreams for the future. Overall, the anniversary party was a huge success. Diana and David renewed their vows and made a commitment to continue supporting Gary and other members of the military community. The Marines were also very happy to be a part of the celebration and to show their support for Diana and Gary. In the end, the story of Diana and Gary is a powerful reminder of the importance of love, compassion, and gratitude. Diana's kindness and generosity have made a lasting impact on Gary's life and have brought him hope and happiness. And the support of the Marines has shown that ordinary people can make a difference in the lives of those who serve our country.